guest, Margarita, who is absolutely adorable.
Hi.
Tell me, how excited are you for this weekend?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. We have so many wonderful animals that are available for adoption this weekend. So this is going to be a great weekend for our animals here.
And speaking of your animals, Margarita here is just precious. Tell me a little bit about her.
Well, she identifies as a lap dog. So this is where she wants to spend all of her time. She spent all afternoon in one of our adoption counselors' laps. So she's a senior dog. We think she's about 10. She came in as a stray. She needs a dental, so we're going to do that. So she will actually be ready to go by this weekend.
Great. And I know for somebody maybe has a little more relaxed lifestyle, maybe they're older, they like to stay indoors a little more, an older lap dog is a good choice for them. What do other people need to think about when they're considering adopting a dog this weekend?
You know, we like people to be honest with themselves about their lifestyle, right? Like if you're a really active person, you're outside all the time, then that's the kind of dog that you want is one that you can go jogging with. A larger breed animal would be good for that. Senior dogs are a really great option if you're someone who just wants to sit and watch TV with your pet, or a dog that just doesn't seem interested in doing much more than being in your lap, right? So think more about their temperament and their activity level when you're thinking about adopting. And then when you do adopt, keep in mind the rule of threes, right? It takes about 3 days from the time that you get them home to really chill out and relax and decompress. It takes about 3 weeks for them to really feel like it's normal, that this is their new normal, and about 3 months to be completely acclimated. So you don't want to take them to the dog park right out of the gate, right? Like you don't want to bring a lot of people over to introduce them in their first few days. You want to give them some time to really decompress, and then you'll set them up for success.
Well, that's some wonderful advice. Now, we know this weekend, the adoption fees are covered by members of the community, and all week we'll be introducing you to some of those amazing people. Tonight, we're starting with Brian Vincent, who also adopted from the Palm Springs Animal Shelter.
I adopted my Pitty in December. He had actually been in the shelter for over a year. He'd been fostered for 6 months by one of the volunteers, and I'm just absolutely ecstatic and thrilled, and I love him so much.
Now, Brian is sponsoring 4 big dogs at the shelter for the weekend, but we know there are dozens here. So here's what Brian has to say about why he chose the big dogs.
As I understand it, the large dogs are much harder to place, and especially around here. And having gone through that experience and taking a chance and adopting a large dog myself for the first time, and one, you know, who'd been here for so long and just really needed a home. That's why I want to enable others who may kind of be on the fence or may not otherwise have the means to do it. I want to offer them that opportunity.
So thank you to Brian and everyone else who's covering the adoptions this weekend. Again, Jack, really quick, tell everyone the hours for the weekend.
Sure, we're on Saturday, we'll be open from 10 to 5, and on Sunday from 11 to 5.
All right, wonderful. More animals coming up later in the newscast, but for now, Mark, we will send it back to you.
All right, Olivia, thank you so much for that. We'll have more coverage coming up a little bit later on in tonight's newscast. Moving on this evening, a final update was released by CAL FIRE today on the Rosa fire. All evacuation warnings are now lifted. Authorities say that fire burned a little more than 1,600 acres. It is 98% contained. Crews for the agency will be patrolling the perimeter, monitoring hotspots, and working on mop-up. CAL FIRE asked the public to use caution when entering the area, as crews are still working with heavy equipment right now. With that, let's get a check on the forecast. Live pictures tonight from our Agua Caliente casino camera high above Rancho Mirage. We're going to send things over to Chloe Carlson, who's got the latest on the weather. Hey, Chloe.
Well, hey, Mark, hot conditions for us this week. We do have that extreme heat warning now being extended until tomorrow evening. So keep that in mind. I mean, no mystery here. We had a very hot weekend, a little humid as well. So those conditions continue through tomorrow. We're also tracking air quality alert. You look at that live cam right there, you can kind of see a little bit of a haze near the wind corridor. That's going to go through tomorrow as well, or this evening, I guess technically 11:59 tonight. That's kicking up a little of that dust and that sand, kind of creating a little bit of an air quality issue. So not the time to maybe be outside today as far as doing those those extracurricular activities, especially of heart or lung disease. This is going to continue through tonight. That will expire Wednesday morning. Extreme heat warning going through Wednesday at 8 p.m. As far as wind gusts right now, it doesn't look that intimidating looking at these numbers. I do know North Indian Canyon is having 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts through this evening until 8 p.m. So keep that in mind for those wind-prone areas. That will be winds will be picking up as we get into this evening. 113 right now in downtown Palm Springs at the airport. Winds from the southeast direction, single-digit winds for Palm Springs. Like I said, stronger in those other wind-prone areas through this evening. Here's a look at your Comfort Air 3-day forecast. So above 110 degrees under clear skies Wednesday and Thursday. But I bring you good news. We have cooler conditions, actually below average conditions as we get into Friday and the weekend. We're going to break down what we can expect in that full forecast coming up.
All right, Chloe, thank you for that. 3 hikers were rescued by helicopter this afternoon after suffering heat-related ailments. Happened near Thermal. Riverside County Fire Department tells us this incident happened just before 2 p.m. at Painted Canyon Trail. That's off of Painted Canyon Road. One hiker sustained moderate injuries and was taken to the hospital by ground ambulance after being airlifted from that area by a Riverside County Sheriff's Rescue 9 helicopter. The other 2 declined medical treatment at the scene. Authorities have not released the hikers' identities. And continuing coverage this evening with that excessive heat warning. Tonight, one local nonprofit tells us how they're looking after farm workers who endure this heat day after day. Our Brett Rosen joins us live in studio tonight with that story. Brett?
Mark, excessive heat warnings are nothing new to residents in the Coachella Valley. However, for most farm workers, going inside, not working during rough, hot conditions is not even an option. TODEC, which is a nonprofit legal center here in the Coachella Valley, has been using their team to go to different fields and give items like water, the correct clothing, and hats, all to protect the workers from the sun. Earlier, we spoke to one TODEC official who says this program, called Harvesting Prevention, is all about education.
We always like to remind farm workers and anybody working outside to get as much shade as possible, stay cool, look for signs of any maybe heat stroke, heat exhaustion. We've been having our focus groups to help community members to learn how to prevent heat exhaustion with having resources available for them, making sure they drink water, making sure they're wearing the proper clothes, making sure their workplaces also provide those resources for them.
Now, besides the different items provided to the farm workers, TODEC also is making sure workers know their rights, whether that's them knowing what breaks they should be getting throughout the workday or knowing what items they should be provided from their employer. TODEC also offers helpful advice for farm workers and their rights on their website, so you can find that link to that on NBCPalmSprings.com. Live in studio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Brett, thank you. The 61st annual Palm Desert Golf Cart Parade rolling back into town this year. This event is on El Paseo. It's set for Sunday, October 26th. The theme, California Dreaming. If you'd like to take part of the festivities, you're in luck. Entries are open for the parade right now. Golf carts to classic cars to even marching bands and cheer groups. You can take part in the celebration. If you'd like more details, you can visit our website. That's NBCPalmSprings.com. Coming up next on this Tuesday evening from Los Angeles to D.C., the latest developments on the National Guard's next mission. Plus, more pets are in shelters after losing their owners from immigration home raids. More on that after the break. We'll be right back.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. NBC Palm Springs News. Even astronauts tune in for their news fix. Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 5.
National Guard troops have already started to arrive in Washington as part of President Trump's directive to address crime in the district. At today's White House briefing, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked about the issue.
But within these 30 days, our entire focus is making sure that this is the most efficient operation possible and that we are removing as many criminals from the streets and we are cleaning up D.C. as best as we can and working with the Metropolitan Police Department to do that.
Another topic of discussion in today's briefing was the president's anticipated in-person meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, which is set for Friday in Alaska. The goal for President Trump is to find solutions to fully end the war with Ukraine. After an increase in deportations and self-deportations, dozens of pets have been surrendered to the Lancaster Animal Care Center and other LA County facilities. Veronica Miracle has the latest tonight.
What's this? You want some of this?
All of these dogs you're seeing now, just a short time ago, had loving homes, but every single one of them is now looking for a new family. Their original owners, they've been ordered to leave the country, deported in recent immigration raids. That's according to Christopher Valles, who's with the LA County Department of Animal Care and Control.
So Delilah and Kizzy, they're approximately 3-month-old kittens. Came to us by their owner who was in a position where they were being deported or self-deported.
Can you show them to us?
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
So cute. They look like little twins.
These kittens have already been adopted pending their spay surgeries and will both get a chance to have a life outside the shelter.
Since mid-June, 28 cats and dogs have been surrendered to LA County animal centers because their owners have had to self-deport or have been deported due to the recent ICE raids. Now, these animals, the majority of them have been adopted to new homes, but there is concern that more could be coming if more ICE raids continue to happen in the Southern California area.
This sweet dog is Oso. He's been at the Lancaster Animal Care Center for 2 months. He was one of the first dogs turned in by an owner due to sweeping ICE raids across Southern California. He's still available for adoption.
What are the stories that you're hearing from people when they come to surrender their animals?
They're only letting us know that they're leaving the country and they're in a position where they can't care for their animal anymore. We haven't had any situations where animals have been abandoned or left behind at a property or anything like that. So we're seeing responsible pet owners come in and letting us know what the reasons why they're surrendering their pet, and we're able to support them.
LA County officials started tracking the number of animals impacted by deportations so shelter staff could prepare for an influx of animals. That data will also help reunite the animals with their original owners if they ever come back and if the animals haven't been adopted.
That was Veronica Miracle reporting this evening. Giving you a live look from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. Chloe Carlson standing by with a look at our middle of the week forecast. That's right after this break. Don't go anywhere. All right, all week long, we're going to be live at the Palm Springs Animal Shelter to showcase their Clear the Shelters event. Let's go back out there live to our Olivia Sandusky, who has the very latest for us. Liv?
Mark, all right, so earlier we met Margarita, an adorable dog. We've been talking a lot about the dogs who are available for adoption, but there are some amazing cats as well. We have Cheyenne here with Caitlin, who's available for adoption, and she just seems to have the best personality. Tell me a little bit about Caitlin.
So Caitlin's a little over 4 months old, so she's kind of small for her age. Not going to be a huge cat, but sweet as can be. She's purring. She's super, super playful, and would love a good home where she could just cuddle and have the room to be a, outgoing kitten.
Oh my gosh, and she's not alone. You have so many cats here that are just as adorable. For someone at home who's maybe thinking a dog might be a bit too much, a cat is a little more my speed, what should they consider when adopting a cat?
So one thing to consider if you don't have any other animals at home, kittens are best in pairs because they learn a lot from each other and they get that energy out. Instead of attacking your foot when you're walking down the hall, they'll play with each other, and it's really a good thing to do. But you can adopt them as singletons too, and just making sure that they have a good space to start off in your home, whether that be a guest room or a bathroom, just to begin with so they can get used to the space is really good and important for a cat.
All right, thank you, Cheyenne, and thank you, Caitlin. We hope you get adopted very soon. Again, the event Saturday and Sunday. Adoption fees are waived. We'll have coverage from the weekend. But for now, we're talking about pets. Maybe not the best time to walk them in the day. Let's check in with Chloe Carlson. She has more on the forecast.
Well, hey, Olivia, I love Caitlin's idea. Just staying inside the house, just cuddling. 4 months old. We hope she finds a happy home. But yes, not the time to be outside with your pets for the next couple of days. We're going to get back to below seasonal, so much better than right now. They're taking a live look at the Walter Clark Highway 11 Cam and Rancho Mirage. They do have a nice sidewalk there that when it is cooler, maybe a nice stroll for your pet there, but very hot today. 114 for the high today, so well above average. 6 degrees, what we above what we would normally expect this time of year as we get into the middle of August. 108 is normal for us. 118, the record-breaking number from 1967. At this hour, 114 still in Palm Springs. 106 on the other side of 10 there in Desert Hot Springs. Overnight tonight, still staying above average for us here on the desert floor. 51 degrees for Jackie and Shadow, sunny and Gizmo up there overnight. As far as speaking of this evening, if you want to go outside once that sun goes down, we are tracking the Perseids meteor shower that is actually peaking this evening. So I know we talked about it late last week. We just had that full moon over the weekend, but it's peaking tonight. So definitely go check it out. Usually you'll normally see 50 to 60 meteors per hour because of the moon and how bright it is right now because we just had a full moon. Maybe 10 to 20, but still definitely check it out this evening. Clear skies for us tonight. As far as future wind potential, now we pick up a little bit on Wednesday north of the I-10. As I talked about, North Indian Canyon, we'll have those gusts up to 40, mid-40s tomorrow evening. So it'll get a little bit gusty for that area. Gene Autry, the other side of the 10 there in Desert Hot Springs. The exit I'm talking about, Palm Drive for our Wednesday, breezy, more so as we get into our Thursday and Friday. So surface moisture, a little humid this week. I am ready for drier conditions. We do have a dry weather pattern, but that monsoonal moisture kind of coming into Southern California. So it's making not only hot, but a little sticky out there. We'll get a little bit drier as we get into our Thursday and Friday, but definitely above what we normally expect for surface moisture for Wednesday. Yeah, humid still, hot conditions. Like I said, extreme heat warning continuing then. Thursday, we are tracking a trough that'll start to take over the West Coast, ushering in those cooler conditions slowly. So Thursday will still be above average, right around seasonal, just above it. Breezy winds in the evening, but as we get into Friday and the weekend, below average conditions, which I feel like I haven't said for the next couple of weeks. So stay with us the next couple of days. We are getting cooler here. Let's look at your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. 112 tomorrow, like I said, above 110 through Thursday, back to seasonal by Friday.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. NBC Palm Springs News. Even astronauts. The NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk with Tim O'Brien. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Oh, welcome back. Now, most of the Valley gearing up for week 0 in the high school football season, but that's not the case for the La Quinta Blackhawks. Coach Ruiz keeping it old school and officially beginning their season against Yucca Valley on August 29th, which is the traditional week 1. Now, the Blackhawks, on the heels of a 7-4 overall record last year, they were 3-2 in league. They're all business as they prepare for the season ahead. They're going to do it this year after graduating a staggering 22 seniors from last year's roster. Coach Ruiz, though, he's looking forward to a new season with this group.
Our defense as a whole, I think our defense as a whole, they're showing some good stuff. We're not going to be the biggest football team out there. We won't pass the eye test, and I'm okay with that. But we're seeing some good things out of our defense as a whole. I really think they're playing more as a unit. Defense wins championships, and that's what I think. We're going to see our defense step up. We're also going to see our O-line as a whole, as a unit, also grow as we work through this. I just think as a unit, we're growing up both on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive line. We're just out here busting our tails, and we all have the same goals, which is to win a league championship. So we just got to do the little things to be able to do that.
The defense will be the main anchor. You hear Coach talk about it. It has been the talk around the Valley. Captain Tristan Salas knows the team has what it takes.
Well, I definitely think this year we got a different energy, and it's showing in practice. Like, everyone really wants it, and we're definitely going to bring it come game time. Our defense is definitely moving. We're all sides of the ball. Both sides of the ball, but our defense really wants it. They're really going to 11 hats to the ball.
Salas, the only returner on the offensive line, will also play on the other side at defensive end. Again, La Quinta opens up against Yucca Valley on the 29th. Now, as we continue our coverage all week long around the Coachella Valley, we'll premiere our season preview show this week. That's going to happen on our website at NBCPalmSprings.com. You'll head there, click on the Friday Night Lights tab, and the shows will be released Friday nights, Saturday mornings, again on NBCPalmSprings.com. That'll do it in sports. I'm Tim O'Brien.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
These are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating. And we couldn't agree more. NBC Palm Springs News. Even astronauts tune in for their news fix. When it comes to top stories, we're on a whole.
All right, finally tonight, no cruel summer for the Swifties. Taylor Swift just announced a new album. It's called The Life of a Showgirl. Surprise announcement from Swift's 12th album came 12 minutes after midnight this morning, 12:12 to be exact. Swift released the news as part of a sneak peek for her upcoming appearance on the New Heights podcast hosted by her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, and his brother, Jason. In the clip, she pulls out a mint green briefcase with her initials TS, which were written in orange. Likely be more details when her much anticipated podcast appearance on New Heights is released tomorrow. But this was obviously big news on the internet. A lot of folks talking about it.
For all the Swifties, which our producer right now is one of them, so I know she's got to be very excited.
I think we know how that story got in there.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for us. We're back here with the latest local headlines at 6. Nightly News is next. We'll see you then.